Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Fیروز دانشگری, and I'd like to start by expressing my deep gratitude to Ambassador Wallace. I truly appreciate the gathering of all the delegates who are calling for change of regime in Iran. We are bonded by our Iranian heritage, and we have a shared responsibility toward the people of Iran to help free Iran move the country toward a republic form of government and keeping the entire country united and ensure its territory reserved as it is today. I am a surgeon scientist and a professor, but I'm also a former political prisoner. My eyes, my minds, and my bodies have witnessed how this regime treats political prisoners. I have the scars of the torture on my body that I've carried for over 30 years. Especially those political prisoners who are affiliated with the Mujahideen Khalq, MEK. I know because as a physician, I risk my life to treat them and to defend them, and some of their members died on my laps. While I treated their gunshot wounds inflicted by IRGC, I have seen many, many occasions of who this regime is that I can't describe in simple words. Today, I represent an international medical foundation named MD Aid, Physicians Aid, which focuses on supporting victims of torture and political prisoners who were forced to flee their homeland as refugees and settled in North America and Europe. For years, the world community believed this regime can change from within. This deceitful promise of the so-called moderates and reformists has cost thousands of innocent lives in Iran and the entire regime in the Middle East. The economic corruption and embezzlement by the regime officials have led to a health crisis for people of Iran. Recently, a research came across my desk that a person who had interviewed over 3,000 people who had sold their kidneys to survive, and he titled the title of his research as "The cost of the kidney in Iran is less than 3 ounces of pistachios in some of the cities." The other incompetence and incapable mullahs blame the medical crisis on the sanction. And that is not farther than truth than this. This is yet part of the ongoing deception and propaganda by this regime. Let us be very clear that within the shortage of medicine, has nothing to do with the sanctions. It has all to do with this criminal mafia regime of mullahs and its IRGC that has brought such crisis on people of Iran. They ship the medication, the medical supplies, and the resources that belong to Iranian people to Syria, to Iraq, and to Yemen. As we watch the protest in Iran, people are shouting, "One less embezzlement, our problem can be solved." This regime is riddled with the scandals, fraud, and embezzlement from the top of the house, starting with Khamenei himself and his office, to the bottom feeders of IRGC and Basijis. They're ripping off Iranian people from their resources. Iran's health sector is hurting because of this regime, not because of the sanctions. I have no doubt the brave men and women of Iran will bring this regime down along with the organized resistance movement and the units of MEK. We only need one day of voting in Iran to show this regime who the Iranian people love. We can and we must come together united in support of regime change in Iran by the Iranian people. We can and we must raise above the propaganda and fake news that this regime unleashes on us. Iran is the prettiest land, is one of the most unique countries in the Middle East that has such a rich ethnical and religious diversity. For all the major social movements, starting with the constitutional movement back about 110 years ago from my land, from Azerbaijan. I'm one of the descendants of Sattar Khan, to the uprising of the 73-79 revolution, to the protests of 1980s, 1999, 2009, and the current movement since 2017, we have shown the world that we can come together in rejection of this clerical regime, just as the people rejected dictatorship of Shah. We have come together. We've come together as Azeris, Kurds, Yashas in Azerbaijan. Arabs, Baluchis, Persians, and other ethnic groups. And we are here to be united against the regime. No separation between us. The only enemy is the regime. So let's unite together in exile to bring our motherland, give them the helping hand, and come together on the 10-point plan proposed by Mrs. Rajavi for a free Iran. It is truly the basis for the most modern Iran. Let's come together and rebuild our homeland with the best and the brightest. But first, we must focus on making regime change in Iran a reality starting today. Thank you very much.